Before we dive into this next episode of Both Sides of the Check, let me take a moment to recognize our sponsor, Miss Cat Consulting. We help people that are looking to start their own business take your concept to company. So if you're interested in learning more, make sure you go to connectwithmisscat.com. In the meantime, sit back, relax, and we're going to pull back the curtain of entrepreneurship while we sit down with another great check writer.
What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Miss Cat, your coach, accountability partner, and teacher. I'm here with another episode of Both Sides of the Check. Guys, y'all know that this is a show for aspiring entrepreneurs. If you want to know what it's really like to be a full-time check writer, that's what this show is all about. Showing you specifically the ups, the downs, the ins and outs. And I think the best way to do that is by bringing on another guest, because y'all could hear my story all day, every day. I got stories for days, but I thought, let me just bring on some folks to make it a little bit more interesting. And today, like any other day, I have an awesome check writer that I'm bringing in. So before we get started, introduce yourself, tell them who you are and exactly what it is that you do.
Hello, y'all. It's your girl Laura with M3 Photography. I am a local Houston photographer. I specialize in portraits and events, and I am just so blessed to be here today.
And we're happy to have you. So photography. I know when I first started in my journey in entrepreneurship, I guess for lack of better terms, I had a production company and I found myself being a starving artist very quickly. so so for me, I'm like, nah, I gotta do something else. So how the photography side, just what is that like day to day being a full-time photographer?
Okay. Well, first, let me thank God and my husband.
Okay.
Okay, because without them both, it's definitely been a journey. But I was in corporate America for 25 years.
Okay.
I know it's hard to believe.
I know,
I
girl.
look so young.
You know this black
But,
don't crack. Look.
So I was in the banking industry for 25 years. So my job was to analyze to make sure that the representatives that was on the phone was doing FDIC regulations.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was my part of it. So when my department relocated to Irving, Texas, my son was about 10 years old at the time.
Gotcha.
And he was enjoying the benefits of a working mom and, a working household with my husband because we were never home when he got home from school.
Gotcha.
So homeboy was gaming. He was cutting class. And that's when the district decided crazy enough to start school at 9 a.m. Like, who in corporate America is not at work at
9 a.m. for sure.
So I had to call him to tell him to get ready for school, and homeboy was taking advantage. He was not going to school.
Wow.
So when my department relocated, I took my package and I decided to stay at home and be at all school events so I can participate.
Yeah.
And no one was taking pictures of, the young brown children.
Wow.
So I was just like, wow, okay, well, honey, can you please give me a camera? He was like, you're not a photographer. I said, I know, but I'm going to go mentor under someone for about a year, and I'm going to go do it. And that's what started M3 Photography.
Wow. See, this is why I love this show, because how many people know that story? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure that, I get the juice. I get everything firsthand here on this show, so I appreciate it. But that's so dope how, I mean, it's not dope because I need you to go to school, sir. Like, I need you to get to school and do what you're supposed to do. But the fact that you say, you know what, I'm going to prioritize my household. I see a lack in my house, and that turned into a business. That's so dope. So with that being said, how did, you started with the school, film, and then from there, how did it go where it is today?
Sadly, like I said, all three of my children were the only brown children on their team at the time. So I developed a plan with the district and I started taking pictures after the sporting events. Okay. So then all of a sudden, everybody wanted to talk to me. It's like, oh, did you get pictures, Sally? Well, If they weren't next to Jordan, Jaden, or Jeremy, that would be a no. So, but I got a great rapport with the district, and that helped me be on the field. So for all the sporting events, I was like right here. I could
Wow.
tell my kid you need water,
Understood.
and that developed such a reputation for me because again, I was the only brown
Yeah,
female photographer on the field, so I was quite noticeable.
for sure.
And then I don't know if you could tell, I'm not from Texas,
I,
so
I hear a little accent. I hear a little
my
accent.
my verbiage was just
But
a little bit different when I'm talking to people, and so it worked out to my benefit.
okay. So you now you on the field. Everybody want their pictures and photos.
Mhm.
So from there, where did it go from there? So it just like word of mouth? Did it just go wild? Like how did you get transition from that?
Well, from there it was word of mouth, so everyone knew who I was, and I mean,
Girl.
quite obvious. And then it segued into, oh, can you get my kids? Do you just do this on the field? Do you do photography portraits? And then that's when I segued into being into the studio.
Awesome, awesome. So again, like I said, for me, I've been on the production side, and I'm just like, as much as I love it,
Hmm.
like, and again, everybody's story is different. I realized for me that production and that side of the fence was more of a hobby
Right.
versus a business, right?
Hmm.
So, how did you determine that this would be viable for you, to sustain as an actual business? Like, what clicked inside of you to say, you know what, I can do this full time, head on. Like, this is gonna be my business.
Well, I think my motivation was really people telling me that I couldn't do it,
Ooh.
because everyone was like, Laura, there's so many photographers. I don't think you should concentrate on this. You should focus on what you've been doing consistently for the past 25 years. And I was like, yeah, but I don't feel like that's the road God wants me to be on right now because, like you said, I had to pivot and reposition for my family. And I just felt that it was better because I got to be at everything.
Everything. Got you.
I mean, I was at school at 10 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, to where people were like,
Do you
oh,
live here?
you,
Are you
right?
part of the
Are you
staff?
part of the
Look.
staff? To where, I mean, I was wearing a lanyard like I was a teacher,
Understood.
So it just, I mean, not to say it wasn't easy,
Yeah.
but that gave me the motivation to keep doing it. And then I learned from my mentors. I learned from the local photographer who actually took my daughter's pictures. I even went to him and I was like, she's the only brown girl. Like,
Yeah.
you're supposed
Yeah.
to be doing this. And he was
Yeah.
like, I never thought of it like that. So he actually mentored me. And now
Wow.
we're co-photographers.
I love it. I
Mhm.
love it. And so, what I'm hearing you say is, first of all, quiet the noise,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, everybody gonna have an opinion.
That's right.
But if it ain't it, that don't have nothing to do with you. Their opinion have nothing to do with you. And secondly, what I'm also hearing you say is mentorship. I,
Exactly.
I would I would venture to say that mentorship was probably been the most defining piece of the launch, for the lack of better terms.
Absolutely. I mean, I have a degree in business management. So
Gotcha.
that part, not a problem. But I didn't go to school for
For
photography.
sure. For
So
sure.
at first, I was winging it, as
Mm.
they say. So I had to get a mentor or decide to go back to school. I was done with school. I had to go back to school. So
Understood.
I learned hands on. I'm a very visual person. So it only really takes me like one or two times to watch someone do something and then I can pick it up.
I got you.
Mhm.
And I think, like I said, kudos to you, because a lot of, and we've talked about this in past episodes, that sometimes they're like, that mentorship is just fluff, or people just trying to get your money, or whatever the case may be. But for most of us, mentorship changed the game for us, right?
Mhm.
And in addition to that, like you said, you could have choose school. You're gonna pay either way.
Right.
You could pay for school, or you can pay for that one-on-one,
Hands
hands-on,
on. Mm-hmm.
with somebody that's actually doing it. And would you venture to say that fast tracked you, or help? Like, would you, in your opinion, going to school? You would have went to school, but it would
Right.
have been time, this, and the third. So would you say that the coaching and mentorship kind of fast tracked you into?
I would say it's a combination.
Okay.
It fast tracked me and it definitely humbled me.
Mm.
Okay. It humbles me because coming from something that you know how to do, you're on it. You could do
Mm.
things a million times. But when you don't know how to do something, you have to take a step back and accept direction, accept criticism. And sometimes you have to, work for free. You have to internship. You have to carry someone's bags. You have to learn. I had to learn the equipment because I didn't know.
For sure.
I mean, there was times where you thought, I was actually really working for them because I was there at 6 in the morning when they had a shoot, helping set up lights just so I could learn the verbiage for when it was my turn.
Understood.
And everyone takes steps. You didn't come out walking,
For sure.
so
For
everyone
sure.
has to learn those.
And I love that because that lets you know that through this entrepreneurship journey, like you said, first of all, be humble. You know what I'm saying? But then on top of that, it's a process.
It is.
You're not, like you say, you don't come out the womb walking. You're not going to eat a full course meal. So first you have to get on that Similac. You're going to have to,
Exactly.
you know, take those steps to get where you want to be. So I appreciate you, sharing that,
Thank
for everybody that's watching. So I do, do have a question because, it sounds as if things have progressed and you went through the mentorship, you got things popping, right?
Right.
And this is both sides of the check. So we know that in check writing, sometimes you get an NSF, you get a non-sufficient funds, right? Now you're still here with me
Right.
today. So that means that whatever could have potentially tried to take you out, it didn't take you out. But was there a time within your journey of entrepreneurship where something almost took you out, or maybe something made you say, I'm quitting. I can't do this no more.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, coming from banking, I know the term NSF. So I would say my biggest setback would be COVID.
Okay.
Okay, because here I am working with the schools.
Yep.
The schools shut down. There's no more sports. They didn't even know if they were going to have graduation because we couldn't be within 6 feet of each other. So I went from a calendar full to everyone had to cancel. And I was just like, how am I going to make any money if I got to give people their money back?
For sure.
So that taught me an important thing, non-refundable deposit. Okay. All right. That taught me to become a little bit more creative and step out of the box and find something else with one of my talents to offset what I wasn't bringing in.
Understood.
So then I started making blankets on the side, well, customizing blankets.
Okay.
So I started doing that. And then I started creating digital books and keepsake books and then I started learning to have a better relationship with the quality clients that I had instead of just trying to get
new
anybody.
Clients. Understood. Understood. Okay. So the setback, which could have took you out, basically helped you to pivot.
Exactly.
Okay. And so now not only are we doing photography, but like you said, you're doing other things, other products, things of that nature. So I just want to know, and I'm sure like the audience want to know, what was it in you that clicked to make you want to pivot? Because you could have just quit. You could have said, "Colt, you know what? This is too much. I don't know what to do." So what was it inside of you that kept going or kept trying to find a solution so that way you wouldn't have to stop doing business?
I would say what made me my motivation really was my husband and my children.
Hey.
Because my daughter was starting college. Again, I look so young. Okay, but I had to pay for college.
Yeah.
So the world still was going on, even though we had to do it from home.
For sure.
So I had to learn to do things from home.
I
think that's when everybody was rebuilding their house or painting their house. So I had to keep it going so I can stay sustainable. Because I didn't want to fail.
I love it. And that's the thing, when people are asking how and why, you have to have something.
Exactly.
Something because this journey ain't for the weak. I'm telling you,
Baby.
it ain't for the weak of heart. So you're gonna have to have something, whether it be your family, and it can't be the money.
No,
That's the thing.
it can't be.
It can't be the money, because the money gonna come high, low, up, down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, just having something to stand strong on,
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely imagine that that's what got you through.
It did. And I learned to put myself in different positions and meet different people that I normally wouldn't have met.
I love that.
Because again, it wasn't just about the money. I had to, people wouldn't know who I am just being at home.
For
So I
sure.
had to go out and meet and come out of my comfort zone a little bit and meet different people so they could start getting the attraction.
I love it.
You bring in what you attract.
I love it. So I'm hearing you say that they can't find you in what you do at your house. You got to go out and network. And I know,
Mm-hmm.
what is it nowadays that people saying that networking ain't, like, oh, we don't need to network. That's so watered
Oh,
down.
no.
Do you believe in that?
Now,
In
the
some
network,
regard.
in some regards, because I feel like everybody named Mama got a network
Yeah.
organization now. However, you do get to meet different people when you branch off into different networks.
For sure.
You don't meet the same people every month because y'all met each other already.
For sure.
You
For
do
sure.
need to branch out.
Yes. And with that being said, the more people that you have access to, the more people that you meet, obviously the more
Mm-hmm.
the more business that you can conduct, and so on and so forth. It's just simple math. So,
Right.
hey, I agree. But with that being said, you talked about the potential setback, and I'm just so happy and grateful that you're still here.
Thank
You ain't let it take you out.
Nope.
And that's what it's all about, is just standing strong, being firm, and getting through it. And now you're here. So I think that with what you've been through, you got something that you can deposit into the guests, right? Because you've been there, done that. What deposit can you leave to somebody who's just like you, that may be thinking like, is this for me? Is this where should I be doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Is it my time? Is it the right time? What kind of deposit can you leave to someone like that?
Well, my deposit to them would be, you're never 100% ready. No matter how many planning you do, no matter how many business charts you have, no matter how many vision boards you have, you're never 100% ready. So you have to take that leap of faith. Okay, you have to take that leap of faith. You're going to make mistakes along the way, no matter what you do. And you have to have the right people in your vicinity to help you with clarity. Okay, people who support your vision. And do not think that your family is supposed to help you, because I used to cry like, my friends are not even booking me. They know I'm a photographer, but that's not it.
Yeah.
You will find your world, your village, and people who you don't know, who you build relationships with.
That's why you got to go outside.
And that's why you got to go outside.
You got to go meet people. I got you. So, clarity. Clarity. So,
Clarity.
how, in your opinion, because everybody's journey is different, so on and so forth. I get it. But how do you find clarity? Like, in your opinion, how, if maybe I'm customizing blankets, I'm doing photography, I'm this, that, and the third. I think I have a vision. In your opinion, how do you find clarity?
On my photography side, I had to decide that I can't do everything. Okay. As much as I want to, some things, not all money is good money.
Okay.
For one, I do try to give back to my community, because I'll sponsor some things at least 3 times a year.
Yes.
Just to keep that humbleness in me, because as much as you think that you're doing bad, someone else is doing worse.
Wow.
Okay, so that helps me with my clarity and my vision. And then as far as when I customize blankets, I do that for whatever someone wants for their particular blanket. So that's a no-brainer.
Understood.
That part's no.
Understood. So I just want to say, first of all, keep pressing, sister. You are doing a phenomenal thing. I appreciate you for coming on here and just giving your, your story, because I think, like I said, and I say this all the time, we see the glitz, we see the glory, we
Mm-hmm.
see, whatever. But for those that are genuinely trying to decide if this is, for them, they need to hear it from people that's
They
doing
do.
it in real life.
They do.
And one thing that you also mentioned is a tribe,
Mm-hmm.
having people. How do you decide? Because I think 100, I won't say 100 because that's too, but I think 99.9% of the time when
Mm-hmm.
people go into entrepreneurship, they automatically assume, like you said, they friends, they family,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, and then get crushed.
Exactly.
What I'm talking about, crushed, when it doesn't happen that way. So how do you find the tribe, or what's your advice on the support, like the support piece, and staying so your feelings don't get
So
hurt?
your feelings don't get hurt. Okay, well, like I said, at first my feelings
Yeah,
were hurt, so I had to learn to identify people who are doing the same thing that I'm doing.
gotcha.
So I met with high level photographers to see what they were attracting. I
Understood.
even met with, photographers who was just getting by,
For
just
sure.
to see the difference. And your demographic plays a big deal. So the people in your village, all you need is one.
Okay.
You don't need four, five, 10. All you need is one good friend, good person, or husband, who's going to support your vision and help you along. And it's not even just financially help you, they can help you with, tweaking software or sending out emails or setting up at an event. Those are things where you really see how
Who
people
really
support
support
you.
you.
Right.
I love it. I love it. I love
Mm-hmm.
it. Well, thank you for all the juice, the nuggets, the gems, that you brought on today, because they needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. Sometimes you just need to be
Mm-hmm.
reintroduced to these concepts,
Mm-hmm.
and then to know that you're not alone. So for those check writers out there, you're not alone. As you can see, it's a group of us. It's a tribe
Mm-hmm.
of
It's a
us.
tribe.
Look, that we go through the same ups and downs, the ins and outs, and we are here to support each other. So with that being said, if they need photography, girl, tell them, how do we stay connected with you?
Okay, so we can go on a website at www.m3photographyshoot.com. I'm on all social media as M3 Photography Shoot, or the good old fashioned way. You just call 346-631-5100. And yes.
Okay, all right, and just out of, they say curiosity killed the cat. Like M3, what that stand for?
Well, in the beginning, it stood for me, myself, and I, because I was the
Okay.
only one doing everything. But now it stands for God, family, and children.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for coming and sharing your story. Thank you guys for tuning in to yet another episode of Both Sides of the Check, where we pull back the curtain of full time entrepreneurship. If you are, aspiring to come on this side of the fence,
Mm-hmm.
you can definitely tune in every single Monday at 6 a.m., where I am bringing on yet another inspiring check writer to give you their story, give you some insight on what it's like to be on this side of the fence. And if you are an aspiring business owner and you don't know where to go, you don't know how to form a business, you have a concept that you want to take to company, hit me up. That's what I'm here for. Miss Cat, your coach, your accountability partner and teacher. You can connect with me and I'll help you take that concept to company. So you can go follow me on all socials at Connect with Miss Cat, or go to my website, connectwithmisscat.com, and I'll help you out. But in the meantime, make sure you stay tapped in every single Monday at 6 a.m. with Both Sides of the Check. I'll see you guys next week.